All right, guys, welcome to the Base Shop Builders Call. I appreciate you jumping on. Really excited to join everybody today. Man, Family First Life launched December 12th, 2013. So we're coming up on our 12th year here. And it's amazing to think about the growth. I was just going back and forth with corporate on some of the numbers that were sent. And the month of October, as we're doing all these, finalization of all the numbers that come in, we're going to be right around $70 million in paid life premium for the month, which is a record. I mean, it's and I can give you, June, July, August, September, October. But when you start looking at, obviously, if it's 70 million a month, your run rate's $840 million a year. And obviously with annuity premium, that puts us well over $1 billion in 2026. Which, it's funny because really what we really should be focused on is how many families that we've put life insurance in place for over the last 12 months, in the last 12 years for that matter. But you look at the amount of people that we've impacted their lives positively, and that's because of all the amazing people that work here, all the amazing people that have gone out day after day, week after week, month after month, and called people and gotten on the phone with them and followed up with them. And when I say dealt with them, had conversations and had hard conversations and were able to continue to push appropriately and professionally to ensure that they protected their families. Because at the end of the day, really what's amazing about what we do is when we help a family, we leave them better than we found them, right? Like that's the whole goal and objective of what we do. And I think when you start looking at what we have going on here at Family First Life, yeah, the numbers are amazing. They are. But I want you to, I had a new age and I was talking to him and I know him. I've known him for a long time, and he joined us about a year ago, and I've known him well before I got involved in life insurance. And he sent me a message about his producer bonus. And I think I just really, first of all, I'm really proud that we have the setup that we have, that we're able to give back as much as we give back every month, and he didn't know, that he's doing a million other things. He's selling life insurance. He's excited. He's full time with us now, and he messaged me and he's like, I didn't realize that we had producer bonuses. The guy that hired me is a great guy. I'm just working. This is the first. I just went full time. He's only been with us for a short period of time, and he said he sent me the producer bonus, like the grid. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I've seen it. Like I work here, and I'm like laughing. He's like, no, I don't understand this. You're telling me. And he's like, can you please make sure that people are well aware? And I was like, yeah, sure, man. It's great. And so most people that get in the insurance business work at a company where there's no bonus at all. There's no bonus for managers. There's no bonus for producers. We bonus out millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars every month, every single month. And when you look at the producer bonus itself, it's, a couple $1 million. Like it's unbelievable how blessed we all are to be. And I feel blessed, like what we can do, and the amazing leadership that we have all over the country and the amazing producers we have out there helping people. We had just over 7,000 new agents this year get paid. They'd never been with us before 2025. 7,000 people. They got their first deposit, their first pay, their first policy issue paid this year. But if you're not talking about this when you're talking to people about the business, like you issue $20,000 in life premium, and there's the carriers and the grid and how much percentage we bonus on each one of them, and I'll hit on that in a minute. But $20,000 you get $650, 30 you get 1,200, 40K you get 1,600, 52,000, 75 you get 4,000. And I made this comment to Zach Twardowski. I said, hey, man, as he knows a heck of a lot more about all of the, he knows so many people and the whole deal. And I'm like, hey, man, how many people really are getting, like, when you do 75K, it's 4,000, 100K, 8,000, 125, you get $10,000 monthly bonus, 150 a month, you get 15,000, 200K in life premium, $20,000 bonus for the month. And he says, you'd be blown away. He starts talking about how many people are getting 20K, 15K, 10 and all. And I'm going through it. I'm thinking, my God, I didn't realize like how unbelievably impactful this thing is. And then, then I get off the phone and I talk to him, and I'm talking to Andrew Taylor, and I'm like, he's like, man, I got all these messages today of guys that are like, hey, I paid like my mortgage, my bonus, like it was $3,000. I paid this with this. I paid that with that. And it makes me, really excited and appreciative for what we're doing here. And I think that when you look at the growth, and you look at the potential, and you look at where we're heading in the future, because like we're just getting started. And when you look at the products that are being offered, and the carrier relationships we have, and you look at what we're doing with America, and you look at what we're able to do with American Amicable, and you look at what we're able to do with Corebridge and Transamerican, NLG. And yes, those, if you looked at the companies, those would be our core partners, right? Those would be the people that from a product standpoint, a delivery standpoint, a service standpoint, the account reps, how they work with us, what they do with the agents, what they provide for the clients. Because that's a big part of where we're going to, like, bonuses. We want the best products and the best opportunity for our clients. We want the best opportunity financially for the agents. We want that to match up. We want to put you in a great position. But to really look at what I'm still blown away with in the industry is that there's no lid. Whenever I was getting into business, when I first got into real estate, it was, I'll never forget one of the guys at the office saying, hey, you have to be aware of when your business hits a lid. And he says the law of the lid. And I said, okay, well, could you be more specific? Like, I just got my real estate license. Like, I'm just trying to figure out how to make some money. I got a job over here as a social worker. I don't really know anything about business yet. Like, what do you mean by that? And he said, you always have to look at anything you decide to do and figure out when will it like, from a marketing standpoint, lead standpoint, client standpoint, payment standpoint, like, when will you max out? Like, you always have to be thinking about, is there a max for me? And do I have to worry about, I do X, Y, and Z for 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, I maxed out. Like, I can't go any further. Well, the beautiful thing about the life insurance industry is that because it's the only product I'm aware of, that everybody that buys it, it will always be used. As long as you continue to pay for it, whether it's a disability or death, it's always going to be used. And everybody does need it, because whether they understand they need it, everybody does need it. Everybody's going to pass away eventually. So everybody does need it. It's in the amount of leads that are generated through social media. So if you had asked me 8 or 10 years ago about the industry, I would have told you that direct mail had a lid. You could only produce so many direct mail leads. Now, I don't produce leads, but there's companies all over the country that produce leads. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, they're on YouTube, they're doing this on the internet. There's all kinds. There's still people that are doing direct mail, people that create call-in leads, people that do all kinds of things. It's never been my deal. It's not what I do. I've always worked with other companies to do the marketing, do the lead gen, whatever it was. And now you can get your leads wherever you want, wherever you choose to get them, you can get them from. But there is no lid on it. You're never going to run out of people to contact. You're never going to run out of prospects. And there are people that still do this just straight warm market, like no leads at all. They're like, dude, I don't get leads. I just call people up and then I network, and this person gives me 10 referrals or 14 referrals. Now, I don't think that's a long-term plan. I think that's great ancillary and supplemental business. I believe that. in our space. There are other things that people do that they're like, dude, I don't do lead gen. Like I own this practice and we've had it for this many years and we have this many patients, and then they refer people. Like there's just in the life insurance space, for you to be successful as an independent contractor salesperson, I 100% believe, and nobody does as much volume as we do. So I think the opinion does matter. Nobody's ever thought about, as a distributor, doing anywhere near the volume that we do. Matter of fact, our monthly volume is more than 99% of companies do in our space annually, 99.5% of them. The volume's not even close to what we do. So I know that leads is the only way to make sure there's no cap. And I know that leads put you in a position to be able to make as much money as you want to make for you and your family. And I know that leads aren't going to run out because of what's happened with social media, the internet, where we're at. Now, that being said, you got to ask yourself, what should I be doing as I'm building my business? Well, I do think, and I don't get on calls every 6 months or once a year and say, this is the greatest time, because that every time can't always be the greatest time. I do believe that the world being in the position it's in now, where people buy and do about everything virtually, the fact that you can go ahead and call people up from wherever you are and sell them the product over the phone makes this the greatest time ever to recruit into this business. When I started in 2008, you got your leads, you called them, you got in your car, you drove out to see them. You got an airplane, you flew across country, you got a hotel, rental car, you stayed in some place you didn't know for 4 days, you ran appointments 12 to 14 hours a day, then you flew home and you did it again the next week, because there's only so many direct mail leads to go around. I don't know that I had a hard time recruiting then. I did it, but it wasn't as easy because I had to find people in areas where there were enough leads. I had to find people in areas where they could drive. Now I was a huge in-home fan. I had the world not changed the way it changed, I was still like, I think we should go call people up and book appointments to go to their house. Now, world change. You deal with a pandemic, everything changes. I also didn't think about people attending school from their house. I didn't think about people attending doctor's appointments from their house. I didn't think about people doing personal training sessions when they're from their house and the person's on Zoom somewhere else giving you. I didn't see that coming. And I certainly didn't see it being mainstream. So in today's world, it was hard to talk to somebody about selling life insurance part-time when part-time meant you had to drive God knows how far, God knows how long, get on an airplane, rent a car. So it wasn't near as accessible. The barriers of entry were a lot more complicated and harder, and they're not today. And I still to this day will tell you that this is not an easy business. It is, people are like, it's simple and it's not easy. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. It's not easy. It doesn't require talent, but it's not easy. And I think that's the beautiful thing about it. It makes it the greatest equalizer because it doesn't require talent, anybody can go do it. It doesn't mean everybody will be successful at it. It just means you have the opportunity to go attempt to do it. And I do know that when you put yourself in that position, as long as you're willing to work as hard as you can, you're going to have some kind of success. It's just a matter of, is that going to be enough success for you? Do you enjoy doing it? Are you able to make sure that based on what you spend on leads and what you're making the amount of money you're making? If you decide you're building a business, then you got the money you make on sales. You got the money you make from overrides. You got a bonus you make as a personal producer. You might even have a bonus as a manager as well. But what I do know is that every single one of us has the ability to be successful in this business, again, because it doesn't require talent. And I do believe that every one of us was built for greatness. Nobody's going to convince me otherwise. I believe that the Lord created all of us to be great. I think all of us have, we have our own talents and strengths, and doesn't require a talent per se. There's no life insurance talent. but I think all of us have, whether it's like, man, I work really hard, or man, I'm able to have a really good attitude no matter what's happening. Man, I'm able to be pretty resilient in the ups and downs in the business. And there are ups and downs. There are going to be ups and downs. But I think the beautiful thing is, prior to the world changing, you had to really think about, man, who could I recruit based on the job they currently have? And who could I put into my business team? And how would I make them fit? Meaning, like, how many days off do they have a week? How will they get out and see people and get in front of them? Now it's like, it doesn't matter if they can't even leave their place. They could be living in the middle of nowhere where there's nobody around them for 3-4 hours. And that would make it hard if you were face to face. As long as they got a phone and they got access to, the internet, and they're doing what they got to do, like, they're fine. And they can go ahead and make sales from anywhere they want. They could work a job and decide to do it 2-3 hours at night, jump on their phone, start calling people, do the best they can. So at Family First Life, we're still going to stand behind the fact that we have ridiculously aggressive compensation. We had the best and I always laugh when, somebody said, man, so-and-so said this about your bonus program. I said, do you have a bonus program where you work? He's like, no. I'm like, so you don't have a bonus program where you sell life insurance, and y'all were criticizing our bonus program that pays out 3-4 million a month. Let me say that again. You don't have a bonus program, and you don't like certain things about our bonus program. What are you talking about? Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but that makes no kind of sense to me. Like, why would you have an opinion on ours? You don't have one. And he's just like, yeah, I guess you're right. I'm like, it's just funny how you're all excited to criticize ours. You don't have one. And I understand that if we pay out 3-4 million a month, and it's 12 months, it's $36 to $48 million a year. And we're like, here, you worked hard. We'd like you to have some more of the money. That's amazing. Here's the carriers we work with. Here's the one that had the best products and take care best relationships with the clients, and build the products, and listen to us about what we need to put in front of the clients, and have an ease of service where we can utilize the tech and get it in front of them, have instant decision, and work best with the agents we got. It's getting people to understand all of the above, but also understanding that we're going to always have that compensation aggressively. We're always going to have the bonus program. We've maintained it the entire time. We're always going to make sure that you can build the business the way you want to build it. We're always going to make sure that, like, at the end of the day, it's your business. You own it, and you own it in its entirety. You're independent. So it's getting people to understand all of the above. But what slows people down? Now, the number's great in October. Don't get me wrong. I could talk for the entire 30 minutes today, and I could just talk about how great we've been doing. And I could talk about how excited I am. And I am. I'm excited for everybody that's doing well. I want everybody to do well. I'm excited for the 7,000 new agents that got paid this first policy this year. I hope that all 7,000 of them continue, whether they're part-time or full-time, continue to work with us. If they choose to do that, makes sense for them. I think about the families and the death claims, because that's real. That's one of the things that, no matter how big the company gets from out of agents, how many people we got the company running so many other things that I don't even like. I'm like, what's the bonus? I don't know, Zach. Send me this or send me that. And this guy's sending me to Grid. And I'm joking. I'm like, we have so many people doing so many things at the company, and I'm doing a lot of other things I never was doing years ago, because it's just so much going on. It's so big. But it's also going, you know what? Never forgetting what it feels like for somebody that's just hoping that they will be successful at it. It's never forgetting the first opportunity meeting I went to in 2008, and how when a guy named John got up in front of the room and talked about, like, what they did at that company, that I was just hoping that I could do it. Just sitting in that room with the 2 guys I went with and 2 other guys, 5 total people in the room. I drove, I don't know, 6 hours to get there. just hoping that I could do it too. I wasn't looking to leave my job at that moment in time. I just wanted some extra income. That's it. That's it. I want to make sure I could take better care of my kids. I can give back to people I need to give back to, take care of my family. That's all I wanted. And now you look at where Family First Life is in 2025, and you start thinking, wait a minute. If the first year we were in business, we did $17 million in premium for a year, which in today's world is still really good because 75 or 80% of the companies in our space don't even do that. And I'm not minimizing, it's still premium. Don't get me wrong. But, they run around and scream and yell about it's like you've been doing this 10, 15 years. You don't even do that kind of volume. But at Family First Life, you'd be blown away at how many dozens and dozens and dozens of people we got that do that here, that do more. We have people that do it in a month, that do more than we did in a year, and that's the beautiful thing. People say, what's the leadership? Duplicating yourself? No, I'm like, no, duplicating people better than you, replicating, or maybe the word's not duplicating, creating people that are better at what you're doing than you, setting the bar really, really high, putting them in a position to win, letting them understand how amazing this could be. How do you do that? I talk to everybody about this business. I think it's a great business. I never say it's going to be perfect. I never say it's going to be easy. I just say the opportunity to go out there and help people. You have the opportunity to go out there and make money for your family. How much you're going to make is completely up to you. We have people that have an unbelievable result, but it's a grind. And there's ups and downs, without a doubt. And if somebody tells you that there aren't ups and downs, they're lying to you. There are. But at the end of the day, all I wanted in 2008 was a chance. And I think there's a lot of people in the world today that just want a chance. I think that while I'm ecstatic about what we're doing, and I'm ecstatic about the numbers and ecstatic about the results, man, I want to pay more out in bonuses every month. But there are a lot of families out there that want a chance to get life insurance that haven't gotten it yet and haven't had the right person call them. And there's a lot of people right now working their job who want a chance. They want a chance to do better for their families. They want a chance to be more financially independent. They just want a chance. And all I wanted was for that guy, John, to give me a chance. And it had its ups and downs, boy. It did. It did. And all I did was just keep going, man. Keep swinging, keep doing what I could do, keep fighting. That's all I could do. And when you start doing that, eventually, you're going to win. Numbers can't beat you. You can't beat the numbers. Put enough dials in, get enough leads. There'll be good days, good weeks, bad weeks, good months, bad months. And as we're getting towards the end of the year here, we have less than 2 months before we get into 2026. The question you have to ask yourself is, what will the next 2 months look like for you? What kind of bonus will you get for November and December? What kind of money will you bring home for your family? What kind of difference will you make in the lives of the people that we're calling, the leads that we're servicing? What kind of gratitude will you have for anything, not just about the business, just anything in your life? How appreciative will you be? It's funny. I heard and the guy was great. I was listening to this pastor a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling this story about working at his dad's company, being at 16, 17, figuring that's what he's going to do in life, and being at this camp. And he said, the experience, the way he explained, I don't want to try to replicate what he said. It's his experience, and he's a pastor and much more qualified but I'm just like, I have tears in my eyes. He's talking about being brought down to his knees, and just knowing that he was called to disciple. Like, he's like, I knew at that moment in time, my life, like I felt on my knees, I felt God's presence. Like, I knew completely what I was supposed to do in my life. I knew. that I was going to be a pastor. I knew I was going to develop other pastors. He went on and on and on and on. And he said, and that's the good news. Here's the better news. He said, now here I am 40 years later, and that's never happened again. There's never an encounter, he said, that I can say I unequivocally, without a doubt, knew God said A, B, or C to me. He said, and a lot of us are waiting and looking and pushing, but this hasn't been done for me, and this hasn't been said to me, and I haven't heard this audible voice. He said, but that's faith. Like, and there people go, man, I've been here for 87 years and I haven't. That doesn't mean that you don't have God on your side. He's there. And that was his message. He's there. He's always there. And again, I'm not preaching to anybody. I'm just passing on what I heard that helped me tremendously. And I know that faith will be tested. I know that as you're moving through this thing called life, it can be hard. It can be brutal. But when I was down and out in the field, 14-hour days, driving 2.5 hours to a house for them to try to, pretend like they weren't home when I'm calling them, or they weren't home, and, just having the all I ever knew was all I asked for was a shot and a chance. And I knew that I believed that if I was serving people and doing the best I can, there'd be a reward for that, being able to protect them. And I believed that since I was doing that, and that's how I was making a living, that I was going to be able to make money. But just like that pastor's amazing message, you have to, you got to have your faith. And yeah, it'll be tested without a doubt, 100%. And, I'm not preaching to anybody. Believe what you believe, no matter what you believe. I'm not judging you because I'm not qualified. I'm not going to. But I know for me, all those hard times and things I've gone through in my life, that's what gets you through. Faith. God, this time is perfect. So I'm just sharing with you that what's on my heart right now as I wrap up is I want more people to understand how many people are out there today that just want a chance. They just want somebody to believe enough in them to give them a chance. And they want somebody to be able to stand by their side because you recruited them, you introduced them to the opportunity, you're selling life insurance, they're selling life insurance, you're going through it, they're going through it. All they want is a chance to be an entrepreneur, a businessman or businesswoman, an independent contractor, and they want to know that they have a chance to be successful. That's all they want. And I think that's why I believe in 26, we'll have 15 to 17,000 new writers, like new people. 7,000 is good. We'll end up with a few hundred more by the end of the year. Maybe it'll be 7,300. I don't know the number. And I do believe when we get in the middle of 26, we'll be issuing 100 million plus in life premium every month. I do believe that, which is a lot of families protected. And yes, that's going to equate to people making a lot of money. Yes, it will. We go from 70 to 100, bonuses are 5, 6 million a month, 7 million. And I'm ecstatic. I hope the numbers grow even bigger than that. But I want people to understand that if you are looking for a chance, it's a great industry and it might be your chance. If you've been at it for a week or a month or 6 months, or maybe for a couple of years, and you've had good years and bad years, don't lose faith in yourself. Keep your faith in what's greater than all of us. And also understands a lot of folks out there that just want a chance. You don't know their life situation. You don't know what they've gone through. And you have to understand at the end of the day that this industry gives everybody a chance. So if you know that and you understand that, the numbers we're going to put up here at Family First Life, the things we're going to do, the amazing people we're going to protect that call us and want life insurance, the tens of thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of agents, 100,000 agents, hundreds of thousands of agents we'll have. They're out there making a difference for their families. And we give back and give people a chance. I do believe unequivocally at Family First Life, we give people the best chance. And we look forward to finding more people that want a chance. The numbers will continue to grow. They'll continue to scale. We'll continue to put people in a better position. And we need your help introducing more people to this amazing industry that is hard. It's not easy. That it doesn't require talent. Anybody can do it. But we don't know who will or won't. Well, guess what? Give them a chance. That's all most people want. That's all I wanted. So I appreciate you. Appreciate what we're doing. It's going to be an amazing end of the year. So let's keep pushing for the next couple months to help more families, protect them in the greatest time of need they have when there is a death and a tragedy for the family. And we've all seen it. We've all gone through it. We all know what it looks like and feels like. And especially when there's no financial support in place, how tough that can be. So, and continue to operate and allow people to have this opportunity so they can have their own chance. So we appreciate everything you do at Family First Life more than you can possibly imagine. We're a great company because you're great. We have great growth because you're great. We have great leadership. We have great production because we have great agents. And we appreciate how hard you work to make people's lives a little bit better when something tragic happens. And we don't take any of it lightly. And I just wanted to say thank you. That's why I wanted to jump on and do this call towards the end of the year and thank everybody. Let's finish the year strong and start 2026 even stronger. It will be our best year yet. And this does just keep getting better and better and better. So appreciate y'all. Have an outstanding day and a great week. Talk to you soon.